Arkansas. All sports. It's more sports.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Wes Moore. Glad you're with us. Excited about tonight. We get a former Razorback who's been through a lot, that can understand what's going on with the coaching change going on right now, and can also talk a little defense with us, because no one's tackled better ever in the history at the University of Arkansas. We are talking about Bumper Poole, and he joins us now. Hey, Bumper, first of all, thank you for joining us on the show. It's a pleasure to have you on and talk a little Razorback football. I wish it was under better circumstances, but still, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's been a while since I've been able to talk the Hogs, so just looking forward to it. Like you said, wish it could be a little more exciting times, but in that same breath, I think there's a lot of good things to come.
All right. Well, Bumper, let's start with Saturday, because I know you were in Fayetteville Saturday for the Notre Dame game. And, man, pre-game, it was awesome. I mean, with the flyover, the crowd. I mean, it's just sold out. I mean, it was pretty cool. And Arkansas marched down and unfortunately had to settle for a field goal. I always wonder if they could have scored a touchdown there. Would it have made a difference? Could it have helped the defense? But then the defense gives up just touchdown after touchdown. What was it like for you watching the defense struggle like that? I think it was 6 possessions for Notre Dame in the first half and 6 touchdowns.
I mean, first and foremost, I love being back. Seeing the stripe out was awesome. The tailgating scene, something I didn't get to see a lot of when I was playing. So kind of getting to see that on the back end, I thought was pretty awesome. But then, when the game gets rolling, kind of get into, the X's and O's of it. I think, anybody can sit in the stands where I was and pinpoint, hey, this is where we did things good and this is where we did things bad. But for me, ultimately, I think it came down to just guys wanting or not wanting to play. And that's, as fans, I think, when people get a little frustrated. So, yeah, I mean, you kind of go into the defense and you just miscommunication, I think, can make things look a lot worse. I mean, I think there's a lot of talent on the field. I think there's a lot of good coaches on the field. But at the end of the day, you're playing talented Division I athletes. So at the end of the day, when you're not on your P's and your Q's, you can get exposed.
Bumper, I've been told that one of the things they're working on defense, and even in practice today, maybe simplifying things, going with different checks or a simpler defense. Did that stick out to you as a former player when you're looking out there and watching that? Could you see some issues with that?
Yes, I think whenever there's glaring issues, guys wide open, people not in their run lanes, it just kind of comes down to communication, people not on the same page, maybe things being a little too difficult. One thing I think that we did well whenever we were playing, 2020, 2021 into 22, things were very simple for us. We had guys just running around, making plays, communicating. The communication was pretty simple. And I think whenever you can simplify defense and let your players run around and make plays, it ultimately gives you better opportunities to, one, not make the MAs, but two, go around and play free and really show a good product as a defense collectively.
I'm sure there are pros and cons. If you have, more checks and you can be more sophisticated on defense, maybe you can confuse the offense. But I guess it gets to a point you could be confusing yourself and just making it easier on the offense.
Absolutely. And I think, week 1, week 2, week 3, you have a lot more time to game plan those offenses. So the more checks you have, the more disguises you can have on defense. I think it makes it a lot easier. But, whenever you kind of get into the middle of the season, you're tired, you're not game planning and not seeing every little clip that you should, you start overcomplicating things and you start seeing things that maybe aren't there. And then that's when you start having some of the MAs, some of these calls are just kind of questioning, are we maybe doing too much? So I think kind of going back to being a little more simple and letting the guys run around, I think we'll see, quite a different team in the back half of the season, just simply off the fact that they're going to, maybe make it a little easier for everyone to communicate.
You played the game with a lot of pride, a lot of effort. You love the university. What was that like for you sitting there watching what you saw?
I mean, I'm not a guy that's, a negative guy that's going to come on here and be, down about what happened. I've been a part of some, very tough games for fans to watch when we first got there. There wasn't a lot of great defense being played my first couple years. So I think whenever you see a game like that and then you see change being made as a fan base, I think you should be excited knowing that, hey, listen, we are frustrated, but changes are being made. And that's kind of how I looked at it. I love Coach Pittman. He gave us kind of a swagger, and I think a lot of people need to remember that where we were at in 2019 and where we kind of shifted into 21 or 20 and 21. It gave Arkansas a swagger on the national level. I think he went viral for a lot of his interviews after some big wins, and it just kind of got that national attention back. And now he basically just is going to hand that torch off to the next coach to come in and continue to build on what a great job he really did.
What was your reaction when you heard Sunday morning that Coach Pittman had been let go?
I was upset. I was sad for him just because I know how much he cares. I met with him probably a couple weeks before, and he seemed in good spirits. He always is a very positive person. But Notre Dame has coaches that are paid a lot. All these teams, it's not like we're going out there and playing, poor talent and poor coaches. Everyone's got a job, and it's, my family eats or yours. So I understand the nature of the business. I know that's a tough time for Pittman, but I think whenever the dust settles, I think the fans will come around and realize that he really did do something special with the program by turning it around and making it a desirable job for whoever the next guy is that comes in.
Yeah, I've said this before, but I kind of compare it to the Mike Anderson situation in basketball. Coach Anderson took a program that was struggling and got it respectable, and then that made the job better, more attractive for Eric Musselman, and that led to John Calipari. And I feel like Coach Pittman could be that stepping stone for someone else to come in and take the program to a higher level.
I couldn't agree more. The job that Pittman did, like you said, he was a bridge. He was someone that when he took the job, no one really wanted it. And he did such a good job with it that now people are disappointed when the Hogs aren't playing well, which is a very good sign. I think nationally, a lot of people like the Hogs and they want to see us do well. So I think it'll attract some big names. And, I'm looking forward to whoever it is. I think with a new coach, there'll be some new resources. And ultimately, in this new sport, new era of college football, the resources are almost just as important as the coach.
Speaking of, can you imagine if you were playing today, as good as you played with that name recognition, that name out there, that name, image, and likeness may have been really big for you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there would be, some extra dollars being made, but I think the cool thing about when I played is I had so much support from a lot of fans just because we weren't making that crazy money, and they could just tell that we cared. We wanted the university to be, a university when it's on TV, people are proud to watch it. And so at the same flip, like, yeah, we didn't make as much money as we could have, but I think we made a statement, and it got a lot of respect from people in the era that we played in before the NIL. But we did have a little NIL at the end, so I'm not going to say we didn't make anything.
Bumper, what are these players going through right now with the coaching change?
Man, a lot, because you got to realize a lot of these kids, there's a lot of uncertainty, and especially when you tie in dollar bills to it. You got guys that are promised money from a certain coaching staff, and whenever you take money from somebody, it probably gives you a little more anxiety. But there's a lot of things that go into these kids' head. Who's going to be here? Am I going to fit? But their job at the end of the day is to make sure that
somebody's blowing you up.
I think
it's
at the end of the day, their job is to go win games, to put everything aside and try to go and do the best for Coach Petrino. And I think he kind of said it best in his interview about, hey, we have 9 weeks to show the country, or 6 weeks, whatever it is, to go show the country that we're good enough to coach here, and the players have to have the same mentality. We're good enough to play here. We're good enough to stay here next season, because every year it's a free agent deal.
What was it like in 2019 going through all that and the coaching change before Pittman got there? Can you hear me, Bumper? What was it like in 2019 going through that coaching change for you guys?
Well, I mean, we had been through so much. A lot of what happened at the end of Bielema and the beginning of Morris, there wasn't any positive for people to really believe in. But then for us to kind of have a new light and someone that we had to believe in and weren't guaranteed success because we had a new coach come in and didn't know if Pittman was going to be the guy. So when we came in and had success versus Mississippi State in 2020 and won some ball games, like the belief that we had for him only grew so much more. So I think whenever they get a guy in there and they win a game, the belief in that person is going to grow, and then their confidence will grow. And like we talked about, making scheme more easier for people to communicate. There really could be a snowball effect.
I think about it with everything that you guys went through with Bielema or Chad Morris. Pittman was almost like the perfect hire because that's what y'all needed at that time, that type of coach. What type of coach do you think these guys, what do they need going forward?
Well, we're in a different era. The guys that were on a part of that team wanted to win because we had lost for so long. I think now you have a structure that's similar to the pros, almost a semi-pro league. And so you have to have a coach that can basically run an entire program, not just coach football. It's sad to say, but they have to be treated like professionals. And when you're treated like professionals, your mistakes have to be smaller. You have to produce more, and there's not as much room for error. So I think a no nonsense guy that can motivate, but at the same time run an entire program, I think is important in this era of football. What
are you up to these days? What do you do?
Man, I'm in Colorado now. I try to play as much golf as I can. It's a sport that I didn't get to play as much in college because obviously we're locked down. But I'm a wholesale broker for an insurance company, CRC. We do wholesale, so basically a middleman in between agents and underwriters. It's an entire new world that I didn't even know existed. It's not tackling people, but it gives me the challenge day in and day out to continue to just chase something different now that football's over.
Man, you're so good with people, and I know you love the Razorbacks. You ever think about doing something in administration or getting into the athletic department side of things?
There's the football life. It's 24/7. You have to give everything you have to be successful because there's other guys out there that are doing the exact same. I think that I gave football everything I had and was really, really proud of what I gave the sport. That now I'm away from it, and I really enjoy just kind of watching from the sidelines, seeing guys, take that next step and, have their own success. But who knows? That door is always open. I know a lot of people in the industry, and maybe one day. But right now, I'm happy. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm enjoying living in Colorado.
Joe's watching. He just sent a message. Does it send a message that no one has hit the portal yet? Do you think that means a little something?
Well, this is a funny question because a lot of these kids are guaranteed money from Arkansas, and if they hit the portal, then that check's gone. So I hate for it to sound like a contract deal, but you get in the real world and there starts being real money implications. I think people are going to be a little more loyal mid-season. I think this happens in the spring, and that's why you see all the guys jump in and moving because there's opportunities and people willing to pay for that NIL. I hate to say it, but I think that's kind of the reality of the situation there.
Yeah, it makes total sense to me, Bumper. I was thinking they've already played 5 games, so it's not like they can redshirt. So you might as well play out the season because you can't go and leave right now and play for somebody else this season. So you might as well. I didn't even think about the money aspect of it all, and yeah, it does.
I hate that we even have to talk about it, but that's part of the new game.
What do you want to see next for Arkansas?
I think if we just go out and play, or they play for Petrino, I think they owe it to him. They owe it to themselves. It's kind of a gut check, and there's not many times midseason you get a reset. So they're getting this bye week. They're getting a chance to reset, change things up. And I think that if they can go out for the rest of the season, have a couple upsets, win some games they should, just put a good product on the field, the fans will be happy. There'll be a lot of mojo going into the offseason. So I'm looking forward to just seeing them grind this out. I'm going to see who wants it, who's made of it, and then the product will show by how hard they play.
Bumper, thank you. We'll let you run. Take care of that phone. Take care of those messages. Somebody wants you, man. Somebody needs to get a hold of you.
Hey, man, this laptop, just these messages keep coming in from every different direction.
Hey, have a great day. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Let's talk a little high school football. It's week 2 of conference play. Last week, the first week of conference play, Little Rock Christian Academy got off to a great start. They knocked off Cabot 56-31. Kemp Keller had a big game, 271 passing yards, 6 touchdowns through the air, and he added a rushing touchdown. And Kemp Keller is our More Sports Player of the Week. Kemp Keller and his head coach, Dustin Grimmett, joined us now. Guys, welcome into the show. Kemp, congratulations. Big game. How are you feeling about that game?
Good. It was kind of in the moment. I didn't really feel like I was having a good game in the moment, but it's good after the fact to see the stats.
Coach, what did you think of his performance?
Oh, I thought he was great. I mean, he made a lot of plays with his feet, getting out of the pocket and keeping his eyes downfield, had some big-time catches, good protection from the O-line, but I thought he excelled.
Coach, how big was it to get off to a good start in conference play and beating Cabot?
Oh, that was big. I mean, we talked about that all week is how, conference plays here, the non-conference, although it matters and it gives us things to work on and improve on, but, the conference is what really counts. That's what counts for playoff seeding and all of that. And we really needed to start off the right way by beating Cabot, and we did.
Kemp, how big was that game for you, you think?
It was huge. It was a big momentum swing because last year we played Cabot. We didn't really execute how we wanted to. And I know offensively this year we executed really well, and we had almost 500 yards of total offense. So I know we're feeling good going into this week.
What do you think was the difference this year as opposed to last year?
Confidence. I feel like last year there was a little bit of scared and moving up into 7A. I don't think we're scared of it this year. So
Kemp, talk about your game a little bit. Take us through some of your big plays, 6 touchdown passes, 1 rushing touchdown. Give us some highlights.
A bunch of guys were getting open. It wasn't just me. I got to put it where it needs to be, obviously, but guys were getting open, line was blocking, and I scrambled when I needed to and just got it to them.
What was your favorite play?
It was, I don't know if it was second or third touchdown. I was sat in the pocket, first read wasn't open, scrambled to the right, and I saw Man Pickens coming to the back of the end zone. I think it was like I threw a crossbody right over the top of the defender for a touchdown.
Coach, you see him in practice all the time. You see him in games now for a couple of years. Anything he does surprise you anymore?
No, not really. I mean, he did that for us last year too, made a lot of plays. His ability to have the pocket awareness and be able to extend the play has been huge for us. And, it shows up in big moments like it did on Friday night.
What makes Kemp a good quarterback?
Well, I think he's calm, cool, consistent most of the time. And like I said, I think his ability to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball is huge. And then when the play does break down, that's where he shines the most because he does have a big arm and able to hit those receivers downfield. And, we have great receivers that make big catches, but Kemp's got to get him the ball, and that's what he does.
Kemp, what do you think is your best attribute?
Definitely improvise. I can definitely improvise because when the play breaks down, it's never over when it's in my hands.
Well, and as we saw, you can scramble and you can score that way too. 7 touchdowns in the game. You ever done that before?
No, sir.
Is 6 the most passing touchdowns you've had in a game?
Yes, sir.
Well, truly a career performance and deserving to be the More Player of the Week. What about this week? Coach, I'll start with you. You got Bryant now. This is the test. This is where you kind of the measuring stick, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So, this season we're taking it week by week, and this week's the biggest game of the year because it's the next one, But we know that we have a really good opponent in Bryant who's undefeated. They're obviously defending state champs, and we know we're going to get their best shot on Friday night, but they're going to get ours too. So we're preparing really well. Hopefully have a good practice today and tomorrow, Thursday, and then show up on Friday and play.
Kemp, what do you think about playing Bryant?
I know it's been circled on my schedule since it's been out, and I just got a bad taste in my mouth since last year. We didn't even score a point, so I know it's going to change this year.
What was the biggest issue last year?
Definitely just – I felt like as an offense, we were just so – I felt like we had to get the ball out so fast, and really that wasn't the case, and we just felt like we had to make everything happen. We had to do stuff that wasn't us. We had to try to be better than we thought we had to be.
Coach, how much do you use last year when preparing for this year? Because they're different. You guys are obviously different. It's his second year starting. as the quarterback against Bryant?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's a little bit of both. I mean, on one hand, we're a different team this year, and we know that. We've got different guys, and and some of them may be the same guys, but they got more experience. So we are a different team, and last year doesn't fully take into account what will happen this year. But we do try to learn from the past. We try to learn from those games, and they play a very similar scheme to what they did last year. So we look back on some things and see what we did well, what we didn't do well, and what we can improve on. So we'll look back a little bit, but we also understand it's a new year, a new team, and a new opportunity.
Okay, I want to know a little bit about you. What's the future hold for you? What are your plans?
Well, I'm gonna go play college football at Henderson State, and I guess see how far that takes me. I don't know. I know I'm gonna keep riding out football until the Lord tells me it's time to stop.
What made you to be ready to be ready? What was it about Henderson State?
Just constant love. They were always pouring into me. I feel like they believed in me more than anybody else.
Coach, what kind of a player is Henderson State getting?
They're getting a quarterback that can that loves football, number one, but can absolutely make plays no matter where he's at. I think whatever system that he goes into, he's a quarterback that can make plays, and he's got a good arm. And as long as he's got some receivers to throw the ball to, he's going to have success.
We can't wait to watch you at Henderson State, but we got some more games here in high school to watch you, Kemp. Hey, congratulations, great game. It was good to meet you, and Coach, we appreciate your time. Best of luck this week against Bryant. We'll be watching.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us on.
Nice catching up with Kemp Keller and Coach Grimmett at Little Rock Christian Academy. Coming up tomorrow night, we'll take a look at the high school football rankings for all the classifications. Also, we got Hayden Henry coming on the show tomorrow night. So that's going to be fun talking with another Razorback linebacker. And, speaking of linebackers, Braylon Mitchell, another former Razorback linebacker. We'll have 3 linebackers in a row. Braylon Mitchell's with us on Thursday night. We'll also hear from Thomas Thrash as we'll preview all the big high school football games on Friday night. Friday night, we're back here doing a post-game show on all the big games happening around the state. Got a couple of comments. People always can write in and then get involved with the show. Love to see some of the comments. Toyo Tech says, Bumper said run around. Not to be negative, but they got to learn to actually run first. Yeah, Toyo Tech. The effort hasn't been there. Defensively hasn't looked good the last couple of games, and I know that's one of the things that they're addressing to make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore in the future. Tanner says, "What's up, Wes and Bumper?" Hey, Tanner, thank you for watching. Y'all be sure to hit subscribe while you're over on YouTube and join the channel, so that way you know when we have new shows coming up. Basically every night. And, Josh says, "Go Razorbacks, love you, Pool." And yeah, it was great to get Bumper on here. He loves the Razorbacks too, and just another good guest to get here on More Sports. Thank you for watching. That's going to do it for tonight. But remember, we'll be back here tomorrow night with More Sports.
All Arkansas, all sports. It's More Sports.